In this video today, we'll remember what love really is, why love never hurts, and about how to simply live as the love we are, no matter the dramas that arise in our lives. Hello, I'm Marvin Glenn, the Singing Sage. Just in case you're here with me for the very first time today, please hear this before we begin. The foundational truth on which all of my songs and videos are happily based is this. None of us on earth are exclusively human. We all are non-physical or spiritual infinite creators in these human bodies, simply creating and enjoying our experiences and ventures on earth. Later, I will refer you to more of my videos if you'd like to explore and remember more about the concepts I will be sharing today, or about the grand story of humanity we've never been told. Let's start today with a true experience I had a long time ago. I was sitting in quiet contemplation in my backyard, and my intention was to connect deeply with life. I had been sitting there for a few minutes when suddenly, without any expectation, an overwhelming, warm, and powerful energy flooded my entire being. It was something I had never experienced before. It left me in awe and wonder, and of course questioning what had just happened. After a few days, I received an inner understanding, or an inner standing, of the experience. What came to me was I had, for the first time, experienced a tiny bit of the intensity, strength, and power of love. It was so powerful that no one anywhere in any dimension or any universe could even begin to even think of opposing it. It was that intense and vast. So what is this love? It is unity. It's the togetherness of everything that is alive, and even everything we may not even think is alive, like a rock, believe it or not. To show us scientifically how this is possible, as you know, atoms are the base of all physicality. Atoms are made of even smaller particles, and they're all energy. What is this energy? That's a big question, but the answer is simple. This energy is love. Love is the glue of creation. It is the energy that holds the entire universe together while it's constantly expanding. This great big universe is love. Love is not wimpy. It is the force. And guess what? We are that force. And because we are all made of this same energy, we are all one. We are love in the flesh. So love, real love, is so much more than a warm, cushy feeling. Here's something cool. You and I have never been separate. Everything and every one of us have been, and will always continue to be, inseparable forever, no matter how we see things with our human eyes. In the description below, you will find a link directly to a song on my website that sings about that truth. It is called We Are All One. The pain we feel as humans is because something is dividing us. It knows our brains are living computers, so it's very easy to make us feel like you and I are very separate beings, and it does that by programming our thoughts, our beliefs, our opinions, and our perceptions with lies. The true state of the universe and everything and everyone in it is togetherness. We truly are all one, and that's because we are all unique individual expressions of the one prime creator, the all that is. The main agenda of this matrix of deception we're living in is division. Keep the humans divided. Divide them from each other and divide them from within themselves. Just noticing the world today is all it takes to see this in action. The truth is, we all need each other because we're all deeply connected. That's why it hurts when my love for someone else isn't recognized and returned. That's why I work on myself when I feel unloving towards someone else. I want to avoid the pain of separation. So what's been happening here for so long? Why are we in so much darkness and pain? There must be a reason, right? Well, this is it. We've all put ourselves here in this matrix and have become temporary amnesiacs because we want to strengthen our unity, our love, by experiencing everything here that wants to divide us. We want to experience what disunity and separation feel like and the pain it can cause. We knew that pain would be our motivation to master our disunity. Again, why? Well, it's because when we exercise our muscles, we get stronger, and the muscles we wanted to exercise were the ones helping us to hold on to our unity. So our love would get stronger and be unbreakable from now on. At the end of this video, I will also point you to another of my videos that explains in detail the big cosmic picture of all the whys and hows of this story. In humanity's future, it looks like there will be challenges and creative opportunities that have never existed before. We want to be able to participate in and contribute to the next steps of evolution for the universe and, of course, for ourselves. Again, why? Because our greatest joy is creating. That's who we are. We are all infinite and eternal creators. And here's another truth about us that we need to accept if we're to grow. Inside of each of us, there's a great barrier between us and our greater selves, the all that is within us. This wall is made of the lies we have been told. Lies about us, lies about life, and about who we are. You already know, I bet, that it's really hard for most of us to actually use our brains to reason something out for ourselves nowadays because we haven't been taught to critically think. I mean, ask the wrong question at school or church and watch how quickly you're shut down. Have you ever noticed that we've never been told who and what we really are? Or why we're here? Too much information, I guess. Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Here it is, short and simple. Love is unity. Being divided is the killer of unity. Hatred is another word for division. If we hate someone, we are divided from them. Not at the deepest level, of course, but it sure hurts when we hate because we feel cut away from what we actually are. Love, unity. We are pretending to be someone we are not and never will be. So it's the absence of connection with ourselves that is the pain we feel around love sometimes. The lack of self-love, lack of unity with you, yourself. The way we can get back to our self-love, our unity with ourselves, is by bringing ourselves to the point where we can look at every part of us, the darkest and the brightest, the meanest and the kindest, without judging or condemning ourselves, and without getting triggered by what we see in us. Because that's when we will be integrated again, people of integrity. We will return to being complete again, united again, loving ourselves again, like in the innocent and natural state of our childhoods, before so many of us were taught we're not good enough or we're a bad, bad person. When I look at myself and the ways I'm acting, I can easily find something I don't like, that's for sure. Here's what I do when that happens. I look directly at it, accept it without judging it, and consciously pull it to me like a naughty child. I let it know I love it and that it's time for it to grow up and be a kinder and more loving person. It is a person, it's who I've been thinking I was. Of course, it hasn't been truly me, but I've acted like it was. It's been like a sick child and simply needs my love to heal. See what I mean about no more self-judgment? Okay, then, here's a helpful technique for stopping our self-judgments. We can see ourselves as a spectrum ranging from the darkest to the brightest, from the smallest to the largest, from the meanest to the kindest. We are all spectrums. Anything wrong with the spectrum? Nope. Any problem with the spectrum? Nope. Can we appreciate a spectrum as something glorious to behold? Yep. Does the spectrum deserve to be judged? Nope. Does the spectrum deserve to be simply accepted for what it is? It sure does. Can you take this and run with it? Yes, you sure can. Something else really wonderful now will start happening. We'll stop judging ourselves for just being the way we are. And as we stop judging ourselves, we'll also stop judging other people. So, when we are finally in love again with ourselves, we will be in love again with everyone else. And when we stop judging ourselves, we can stay integrated within our own beings. We can become people of integrity. No more schizoid thinking or being. Then, when we're there again, something else magnificent also happens. Our love becomes unconditional. Neither we nor the ones we love have to measure up to anything in order to keep our love. What freedom it is for both of us. There goes the fear of losing my beloved because I'm not good enough. We can be our authentic selves when we know we are safe and accepted by our partner. Now that's emotional maturity. It quickly becomes obvious then that when we don't get the love we need from ourselves, we are miserable. And when someone else outside of us doesn't return our love, we are in pain. So all along, it's been the lack of love that hurts, not love itself. Unity is the healer of all our pain. Ever wonder why this all affects us so dramatically? Well, it's because we are love. Here's a short personal story. My wife, Sarah, and I never fell in love. When we met 18 years ago, our love wasn't a thing to fall into. It has simply always been, and that's the way we both experienced it from our very first day together. We each had grown up enough, emotionally, that we both enjoyed a pretty high level of self-love. Because I really knew this to be true about myself, I was able to trust. That's an important word. Trust life and myself. After only one day together, I did not ask her to marry me. I simply asked her, when are we getting married? And she said yes. We've been together for an absolutely glorious 18 years now. Here's a technique I use to keep our relationship tight and warm. When something comes up in our relationship that triggers me, most of the time I'm able to just stand still and keep my mouth shut for a few seconds. During that short time, that span, I go to my heart, my inner wisdom, and I ask myself a question. I ask, what is it in me that just got triggered? Then I wait for the answer. It usually comes quickly, and it's usually some emotional event in my early childhood that's still very much alive in me. By me hesitating to react in that moment, my heart gets a chance to actually keep things stable, to keep me from cutting myself off by judging her as being wrong or stubborn or anything else. You see, when we judge another person, we automatically cut ourselves off from them. At least it certainly feels that way. And that's when I start hurting and feeling alone and trying to justify myself. Something else happens when I stop pushing against her to get my way. It's amazing how, because she has nothing to push back against, she usually stops pushing too. We've both gotten to the place where we have stopped hanging on to our love of drama. We can actually stand back and laugh at ourselves, and I mean really laugh. Drama has been an enjoyable game for us humans for such a long time. Here's an exercise for loving yourself. I invite you to follow along and repeat these questions after me and notice how you feel asking them. Ready? Why do I love myself so much? Why am I so wonderful? Why am I so powerful? Why am I so compassionate? Why am I so kind? Why am I so wealthy and healthy? What did you notice about in your mind or your feelings when you did this? Drop a comment below and let me know. Here's why we did that exercise. Asking the question why establishes a statement as a fact, and the mind cannot deny something we see as a fact. If you want to remember more about the things you've heard today, you may want to watch this video here. And if you want to remember why loving your inner child is so valuable, there's a song link for you in the description called The Shadow. If you're interested in remembering more about the grand story of humanity, I recommend you go to the website of my mentor, the great George Kavasilis. He and his book, Our Universal Journey, are treasures and really opened my eyes to what's real and authentic. The links are in the description down below. I'm trusting you will continue nurturing your self-love from now on. Lavish yourself with appreciation and gratitude. So many benefits to be enjoyed when we do. Please help others find this video channel by subscribing and liking this video. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. To help us all practice real loving in our relationships, we can ask life's most elegant question that we'll find and hear in today's song.
As we move through our days in confusion's old maze, and we know not which way to go, we can find our way through and know just what to do if we ask this one question and follow the flow. What would love do now? What would love do now? The most elegant question of all. We can live in the sunshine and never be blue if we ask this simple question, what would love do? With the ones who we love, sometimes push comes to shove, and emotions can spoil our ride. That's the time to decide to go deep, deep inside, for the answer this question will always provide. What would love do now? What would love do now? The most elegant question can live in the sunshine and never be blue if we ask this simple question.